The Half Dentistic is a poem written by Jwan Mwaikusa. Literature invokes many things that happen in our society, brings up those things brought all narrations or written form. Writers write works so that society can learn from bad things and get rid of them. Pen and paper are important weapons for the writer so that society can be educated and stop bad things. I, teacher Kadonji, I'm doing an oral narration to tell you the text written by the author of little books. Dear listeners, ordinary students, advanced students, college students, university students, and teachers of English language and literature in English, well listened on today's analysis of the poem by Jwan Mwaikusa, who wrote the poem, The Half Dentistic, meaning is a wonderful dentistic who does not care about problems of its citizens. Professor Jwan Mwaikusa was a long-time lawyer from Tanzania from 1981 to 2010. He was born in 1952 and died in 2010 by being shot by unknown people for the crimes of resolving the conflict of Kimbali, Rwanda in 1994. Professor Jwan Mwaikusa wrote many poems, including the poem, The Half Dentistic. I have brought you an analysis of this poem so that you can gain knowledge about irresponsible readers, selfishness readers, students studying literature in English and the English language with their teachers. Jwan Mwaikusa educates us about irresponsibility of leaders. Leaders should help their people effectively to solve their problems. Professor Jwan Mwaikusa educates us about leaders should not exploit their citizens. Jwan Mwaikusa reminded the leaders to cooperate together with their citizens to solve their problems. Jwan Mwaikusa warns us disappointment is not the best way of solving the problems. We should stand and struggle against the responsibility of leaders. Jwan Mwaikusa has raised different themes in his poem, such as disappointment, exploitation of leaders, irresponsibility of leaders, ignorance of leaders. Jwan Mwaikusa has used the ironic title, The Half Dentistic, to highlight the weaknesses of leaders in Tanzania and the other African countries. Leaders do not stand in the front to help their people. The Half Dentistic means a bad leader who does not love his people, a leader who does not care for his people, does not solve people's problems. This poem was also seen the Nectar Form 4 exam 2023 in a subject of literature in English, question number 4. Please listen. Listen the Jwan Mwaikusa's poem I'm reading. He read medicine, specializing in the tools, and graduated with honors, with new thesis to cure the itching malady. Our teeth shall be all right. People chanted welcome his service, and he started work prompt and immediate. They brought him all the teeth they had, decaying teeth, itching teeth, strong teeth, and he started working on the jaws, diligently pulling out every tooth from the jaws of every mouse, and they paid him with meat, which now they could not eat. And so went to the dentist, making heaps and heaps of teeth, useless, laying them waste, without fear that soon, very soon indeed, he would have no teeth to attend to, no tools for which to call himself a dentist. The person who speaks in this poem is an observer or a member of the community with the problem of tooth decay. The persona describes a dentist who fails to treat the teeth of a community with dental problems. This poem is a modern poem because there are an equal number of verses in each stanza. Example, stanza 1 has 5 verses. Stanza 2 has 10 verses. Stanza 3 has 7 verses. The tone of the persona is disappointed and very sad. He expresses his strong feelings about the bad reader. I, teacher Kadonji, the reader of this poem, I feel bad about this bad reader who fails to solve the problems of his people. I don't know how you, the listener, students, teacher, how you feel about the persona of this poem. Let us look at the poetic devices in this poem, The Half Dentistic by Jwan Mwaikusa. There are 3 poetic devices. Number 1, structural devices. Number 2, sound devices and sense devices. Let us look at devices of structural. There are 3 number of stanzas in this poem. Also, there are 22 number of verses. Jwan Mwaikusa used the repetition of words in his poem, like he, this, and dentistic to emphasize about irresponsible readers. Also used punctuation mark, like comma, and full stop to separate one verse to another. The second poetic devices is sound devices. One of the elements of sound devices is rhyme. It is irregular rhyme scheme because of the similar sound at the end of each verses. The end rhyme ends with A, B, C, C, D. This is the stanza 1. Another sound devices, rhythm. Also, it is irregular rhythm. Example, stanza 1, verse 1. He read medicine. In this verse, we see weak syllable, he read, and strong syllable, medicine. Number 3, alteration. Example, consonant sound T, repeated at the beginning in second stanza. Verse 5, decaying teeth, etching teeth, and strong teeth. Number 4, consonants. Consonant sound S, repeated at the end of each word in a verse. Example in stanza 3, verse 2, making hips and hips of teeth. The last poetic devices are sense devices. Number 1, symbolism. The word half dentistic is a symbol of fake readers. Number 2, island. Example, and he graduated with honors. Someone who graduated with honors is expected to be competent in his area, not like the dentist depicted in the poem, who makes hips and hips of teeth useless. Number 3, imagery. There are visual images in our mind when you think about teeth, dentistic jaws. Dear listener, this poem still has relevance to our society because there are irresponsible leaders, selfishness leaders, brutality leaders who do not solve the problem of their citizens. I have reached the end of this narration of the poem, The Half Dentistic by Jwan Mwaikusa from Tanzania. Dear listeners, you can use this poem in English language and literature in English because it is found in 2 poetry, select poems and sermons in Tanzania. My name is Teacher Kadonji, or Teacher Kadonji, the man of literature and the young African writer, the word analyst from Queen of Peace Girls Secondary School in Nzega Tabora, the friend of Mr. Tinga Tinga Africana, Mr. Gordon Yohana Bayalimo, and teacher on duty Reginald Bisholda. Thank you for listening to me. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment below this video. Thank you.